This is Shantae Advance, Risky Revolution. Developed by WayForward, this game was supposed to be released in the early 2000s for the Game Boy Advance, but for one reason or another it was cancelled and thought to be lost to time. Fast forward to 2025 and the game has been dusted off and fixed up to be playable on modern consoles. And not to mention they actually released a cart version that is playable on a Game Boy Advance. The version we are watching here is the Nintendo Switch version, but due to this being a 2D Game Boy game, what platform you play on will not make a huge difference. But the game does offer you two ways to play, modern or original. The only difference I can see between the two is the UI, sprites, and text being a higher resolution on the modern side, while the original option plays just like an upscaled Game Boy game. So whichever side you choose, the gameplay will be the exact same. Surprising no one, you play as the Half-Genie girl Shantae. Your arch nemesis Risky Boots is plotting to plunder the world of riches once again. This time by controlling the world's tectonic plates and rotating them to cause panic and chaos. It is up to you to gather your uncle's fellow relic hunters to come up with a plan to stop Risky Boots once and for all. Just like the other games. Like almost all platformers, the story is nothing new or exciting. Some people may have a problem with that, but if it means I get to explore different areas, platform around, and have a decent time, then that is fine with me. That being said, some of the writing in the game did make me laugh a bit. The game plays like your standard 2D platformer for the time. Shantae's main move is using your hair as a weapon by whipping it at enemies, which is what you'll be using throughout the game. Along the way you will collect these beads that when thrown into some magical fountain will give you the power to change into a certain animal with differing abilities. These animals include a monkey, a crab, or a spider, and some others too. While you can enhance the abilities of the animals to give you different powers, I found that the animals are solely meant to allow you to progress through the game and access different areas. To defeat enemies and bosses, you will be sticking with Shantae's hair flick, which fortunately can be upgraded in the store. One thing I do not like when shape-shifting between animals is that the game goes to a completely white screen every time you switch between them. It gets annoying real quick. There are also items that you can acquire that use the magic meter on the left. Like the hair whip, you can also upgrade these to do more damage and use less magic. There's one magic item you can use that will give you more gems each time you gather one. It comes in handy when you're trying to max out your upgrades. Apart from the animals and items, one small thing that affects gameplay is the buttons that shift the land of the level. While this does nothing to enemies, it is solely there for a puzzle you have to solve in each area. In one level you must activate all these pumps that can only be reached if the forefront and background are rotated in the right direction. While this may seem confusing, there are only two ways you can rotate a level. So if you think you're missing something, just explore between the two level positions. There are also broken switches that usually unlock new areas that your friend Bolo can fix with a special part. This usually entails either exploring places you've already been to or talking to a certain person. Throughout the game you will be solving puzzles constantly. To either unlock doors, get power-ups, or to proceed to the next area you will be solving something. Fortunately, these puzzles aren't that difficult. In fact, the only part I got stuck in this game was finding the parts needed to fix the switches and the final boss fight. Other than that, you should be able to breeze through whatever this game throws at you. Due to this being released much later in the series, the art style for the cutscene sprites looks much like the current style for the series. I don't know if the sprites have always looked like this, or it was added when development for the game started back up. Either way, the art style looks the same when compared to other modern Shantae games developed by WayForward. If you have played other games in the Shantae series, you'll see some familiar faces. The two characters you'll talk to the most throughout the game is Sky, who will take you to different places you've discovered, and Roddy Tops, who becomes the store owner, who you'll purchase all your upgrades through. And as you can see, they are both quite bouncy. So bouncy in fact that it's gotta hurt them. There's no way that's comfortable. The music that is in this game is nice, but nothing noteworthy. Not to say it's bad or nothing, but it is your normal 16-bit style platformer tunes that you've come to expect from an early Shantae game. After all, this game is meant for a Game Boy Advance, so you kinda have to keep your expectations low. For controls, the platforming is pretty precise. Never did I feel like I missed a jump because of input lag or anything like that. In fact, the only problem I had with the controls is how you select items. You must go into a separate menu to choose which spell or item you want to have equipped. Even though you can have a macro on an item, I still found it cumbersome to select when in the middle of a boss fight. But unlike items and spells, the controls to select which animal you want to use are really simple. You must press the right bumper to do a belly dance, then a direction on your D-pad to select which animal to transform into. The way Shantae plays as a whole is pretty straightforward. Like any other platformer, Shantae Advance has many collectibles hidden throughout the levels, which are not required to progress through the main story, but I'm sure if you collect them all, you will be rewarded somehow after you complete the game. Even with the collectibles and potential upgrades, the game is not very long. If you know what you're doing, you can probably clear this thing in 3 evenings. The only challenge I faced was the final boss fight. The other boss fights are easy and only require you to figure out their simple mechanics. Due to Shantae Advance Risky Revolution being an old game, it is somewhat of a time capsule. Even if it came out when it was supposed to, I think it would have been regarded as a quaint little platformer that does not to try anything new, but does a decent job doing it. If you like the Shantae series, I would recommend playing it. But if you're looking for a good platformer, I'd recommend a different game. Or at least a different Shantae game. One that probably has come out in the last 10 years. Hopefully sometime WayForward will finally take the plunge and bring Shantae to the 3rd dimension. If that time ever comes, I will definitely be there day one.